Hi guys, it's Wesley Morgan, running for United States Senate. I wanted to come to you tonight and talk about an issue that is that's really been concerning for me. Some of the events that's happened yesterday and today, I wanted to make you aware of. Uh, for the past year, I had been going to different counties throughout Kentucky and talking to the GOP establishment, the county GOP groups, and telling them basically going over Mitch McConnell's voting record and disclosing what all this man has been doing to the state of Kentucky and to America in general. And there's a few things that's happened that I believe that you would be very interested in knowing, and I'm going to present that to you tonight. Now, I originally had in mind that I was going to do some multiple videos tonight, but my wife and I have been working on trying to get this set up perfectly so that so you could see for yourself and understand what it is that I'm trying to convey to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you the document that I literally hold in my hand when I present my presentation before the GOP, the county GOPs, or the ladies GOP, or whoever I'm speaking to. And I'm going to go over these issues, and then I'm going to show you an article that came out in the paper. Was it today or yesterday? I believe the article came out in the paper. It was either today or yesterday. I don't see a date on it.
It was yesterday.
Okay, on 15th, and it's the same time that the president made a presentation that spoke. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what I've been telling the people across the state of Kentucky. I'm going to show you what that is. Then we're going to cut over and we're going to show you a newspaper article from the New York Times and show you exactly what that has to say. And then we're going to hear right out of the horse's mouth, we're going to listen to the President of the United States explain the same thing to us and show you that Mitch McConnell has done nothing but block this president by refusing to do recess appointments so he can fill his positions. And some of them have been way over 2 years. In fact, 2.5 years. So why does Mitch McConnell want to keep the President of the United States from filling all of his appointed positions? That's a question I'll leave for you, but you know the answer to it. Mitch McConnell has never been a Trump supporter. He's a never Trumper. And in fact, I don't believe that he really wants the president to succeed. But let's get started. Let's bring up, I'll bring up what I've been going over and read it to you. Here is the outline of the McConnell voting record that you can find this actually online at our webpage, morganforsenate2020.com, and you can read all this for yourself. And first we'll talk about let's talk about the First Amendment, and we'll talk about how that Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell, they are the people who created fake news. On the December 21st, 2012, with House Resolution 4310, they slipped into the National Defense Authorization Act of 2013, the repeal of the Smith-Mont Act. And that Smith-Mont Act, basically, the Smith-Mont Act was passed in 1948. It was and it made it illegal for the United States government to present propaganda to the American people through the news media in America. Well, Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell, actually, they took and repealed that law. So basically, I'll read it to you. Senate Majority Leader McConnell, Harry Reid, Senate Majority Leader, and McConnell, Senate Minority Leader, slipped into the National Defense Authorization Act, the Smith-Mont Modernization Act, allowing government propaganda targeting U.S. citizens that previously could not be used domestically. The Smith-Mont Act was initially included in the House version of the 2013 National Defense Authorization Act, but not the Senate version. To quote John Hudson of the Foreign Policy magazine, for decades, a so-called anti-propaganda law prevented the United States government's mammoth broadcasting arm from delivering programming to American audiences. But on July the 2nd, that came silently to an end with the implementation of a new reform passed in January. The result, an unleashing of thousands of hours per week of government-funded radio and TV programs for domestic U.S. consumption in a reform initially criticized as a green light for U.S. domestic propaganda efforts. Now, then not only does that stop there, but as pointed out by MPN News, for decades, the United States government had been allowed to produce and disseminate propaganda abroad in order to drum up support for its foreign wars that had been banned and distributed or distributing it domestically after the passage of the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948. However, the Modernization Act's co-authors, Representatives Mac Thornberry, Republican of Texas, and Adam Smith, Democrat of Washington, no relation to the Smith of the 1948 Act, asserted that removing the domestic ban was necessary in order to combat al-Qaeda and other violent extremists' influence among population. Given that Thornberry is one of the greatest beneficiaries of weapon manufacturers' campaign contributions, the real intent, to skeptics at least, seemed more likely related to an effort to ramp up domestic support for the United States military eventualism abroad following the disastrous invasion of Iraq and Libya. Furthermore, the National Defense Authorization Act allows indefinite detention of U.S. citizens by excluding the Feinstein-Paul Amendment, which had passed 67-29. McCONNELL voted yes, and Senator Rand Paul voted no. Even Senator Durbin, Democrat from Illinois, recognized the dangers caused, observing that the provisions not prohibit long-term detention of American citizens without trial. Without the Feinstein-Paul Amendment, it remains unclear whether indefinite detention is permitted. Now, what else Mitch McConnell has done is censoring conservative speech. In December of 2016, following the election of President Trump, on November the 8th of 2016, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell slipped into the 2017 National Defense Authorization Act. Now, remember this. He's now the Senate Majority Leader. When he did the other thing, when they repealed the Smith-Mundt Act, he was only the Senate Minority Leader, but he went along with Harry Reid, the Senate Majority Leader. But now he's the Senate Majority Leader, so he's in full control. And he slips into the 2016 National Defense Authorization, the 2017 National Defense Authorization Act, House Bill 5181. The bill, co-sponsored by liberal California Congressman Ted Lieu, was called Countering Foreign Propaganda and Disinformation Act, creating a $160 million slush fund to be used by the Broadcasting Board of Governors to censor conservative content in social media platforms. This bill also changed this. Now, this is what's really important. This bill also changed the structure of the Broadcasting Board of Governors from the Republicans, from 4 Republicans and 4 Democrats, with the Secretary of State being the 9th member, to a single director. The director to this day is an Obama appointee. Now, you will hear the president talk about this in just a second, that he's been trying to get his director of the Board of Directors, Board of Governors. He's been trying to get his person appointed, and Mitch McConnell has refused to do that for over 2.5 years. The question is why? Why did he do that? Why would he somehow not want the president to have his appointee, unless that he is perfectly fine with presenting false and fake news in the news media? Now, to go a little bit farther, Mitch McConnell, let's talk about the Supreme Court. All he does is go around the state touting all the time that he believes that the judges should be no vacancy left behind, and he's been appointing these judges confirming the judges that President Trump appointed. But I will ask you this question. Where were those judges in 2017? Where were those judges in 2018? Where were the judges in the first half of 2019? Mitch McConnell was refusing to pass any of them. The only reason he's passing judges at all is to use it as a re-election tool, and that is exactly what he's been doing. So, you know, and Mitch McConnell, he doesn't have a really good record on the judges to begin with. In 1993, McConnell voted to confirm liberal Ruth Bader Ginsburg's nomination to the United States Supreme Court. She's the most liberal Supreme Court judge that's ever been on the Supreme Court. He also, in 1994, McConnell voted to confirm liberal Stephen Breyer's nomination to the United States Supreme Court. Those two people are the most two liberals on the United States Supreme Court today. If McConnell is such a supporter of confirming conservative judges to the United States judicial system, then why does he not adjourn the United States Senate during recesses so that President Trump can appoint all his judges and ambassadors and as recess appointments? Why McConnell would have someone gavel in the Senate every day while the senators are on leave to their states? You know, Harry Reid did exactly that for President Obama. He recessed the United States Senate so President Obama could fill all of his vacancies with all of those liberal judges. Mitch McConnell refuses to do that for President Trump. Now, that is absolutely a telling situation here. So it doesn't take any genius to figure this out. Now, we're going to play the video of President Trump, and so you can hear out of his own words what's going on. It's going to take just a second because my wife has to step in the other room with the video so that we don't get the feedback. So, honey, whenever you want to play it.
Okay.
So, guys, this man, you know, he has fooled people and fooled people and fooled people, but the truth will set you free. This guy has been an enemy of the people of the state of Kentucky and an enemy of the people of America for a long, long time. So here's the video. Guys, excuse me, I do not have audio for some reason. Excuse me 1 second. We don't have audio. I do not have audio. I swear we went over every bit of this before we even started the broadcast. Come back in and bring the article up, and then you go over the article, then we'll go back to it. Sorry, guys. I apologize. This is the article from the New York Times, and Trump threatens to adjourn Congress to install his nominees, and McConnell demurs, which means he objects, that he doesn't want that to happen. Can we go up? Mm-hmm. And I'll show you right here, this New York Times article, that the top Senate Republican Senator Mitch McConnell quickly let it be known that he would not, that would not happen. He would not allow the president to adjourn the Congress, the Senate, and the House in order for him to make his appointments. Now, if I can get the video. Do I have it all?
No, you got it on. I'm just going to make it see if that will help.
I'll try it.
Okay, I can hear you talking, so you can just let me know. All right, I'll be right back.
Just step right there until you get it going. I swear. I don't get it, Lindsay. It's not
I'm
playing.
not going to play it.
No, I don't know why.
Maybe we can try to link the video or something below, so that way they can watch it. Or we can tag it. Tell them what we can tag it on Facebook.
Can you play it from there? Can they see it from there?
Well, they can see it on yours.
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Take place through our. You're just not giving it to us. We have many positions that are unstaffed because we can't get the approvals. The Democrats are holding us up. We've gotten judges because we go through the process.
It's not gonna work.
Federal judges. And that we've gotten because we focus on it. We take the maximum time because no matter who the judge is, they take vast numbers of days and hours to approve it. For others. Very unfair system. If a judge is going to be approved in 1 hour in one session, it doesn't have a maximum number of hours and days. You're talking about days to get one judge approved. And we're close to 250 judges because of the way they're doing it. Many of these people have been waiting for 2.5 years. We have a couple that have been waiting for. There are currently 129 nominees stuck in the Senate because of partisan obstruction. Many are nominated bill to assist with the coronavirus crisis and the result. I've read over the couple of years. Well, I didn't fill positions. I don't fill positions. In some cases, we don't need the position, and I'm all for that. But in many cases, you do, but we can't get them approved by the Democrats. They won't release them. The positions include the Director of National Intelligence, 2 members of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, the Assistant Secretary of Treasury for Financial Markets of the United States, the Secretary of Agriculture responsible for administering food security programs. Speaking today, saying, please, can I have this man? Can I have this particular person approved as soon as possible? He's been telling me that for a long time, and the Democrats won't allow it. Again, every single judge, every nominee we have goes through the maximum.
Well, I don't know what to do. I mean, this is what the whole video was about.
And it's just a concerted effort to make life difficult. An example is Michael Pack. He's my nominee for the CEO of the Broadcasting Board of Governors. He's been stuck in committee for 2 years, preventing us from managing the Voice of America. Very important. What's coming out of the Voice of America? It's disgusting. What things they say are disgusting. And Michael Pack would get in, he'd do a great job, but he's been waiting now for 2 years. Can't get him approved. The Senate has left Washington until at least May 4th, when he provides a mechanism for the president to fill positions in such the Senate's practice of sessions where prevent.
I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. We tested all this, and now it don't work. Had it all set up, all lined up, everything ready to go. We went through every single aspect of it, and that doesn't work. I just don't understand it. Every time we try to do something, every single time we try to do something, something happens to this stuff. Every single time. And we test it all out before we go live. Test it every bit out. I just do not understand it. I don't know where to tell you to go find this video, but I would strongly suggest that all of you go listening to the president. This was a speech that he did yesterday, and he points out everything that I have been saying for so long, and I'm getting so frustrated with it that I don't know. I'm probably just going to have to go hire some professionals or something, because someone is putting a block in this, and I don't know who it is, but someone's doing it. Because there's no reason for it to not work after we went through every single aspect of it before we went live. I just don't understand it. And it's embarrassing, and I apologize. I radically apologize to you. I'm gonna go off the air, and I'm gonna work with this just a little bit, and if I can get it within the next 15 minutes or so, I'll come back on and let you listen to the video. Appreciate it. Thank you all very much. Wesley Morgan. Hope to get things worked out one of these days. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.